How is Coda doing?
Coda's doing fine. He's recovering very well. They're gradually working things back in that he'll begin to just slightly work out and do things, but he's in great spirits. Everything's well, and everything should be 100% recovery.
You expect him for the fall?
Yes.
To be part of it? Great, great. So as I go back and look, when we talked to you the first time, you told us many times there is a price to be paid for where we want to go. What is that price?
Commitment. Are you participating or are you committed? It's a different thing. Are you playing football or are you a player? I mean, and that's how devoted you are to the details of the game, and it is a priority on your list because it's a game just like class. Teacher gives you notes, puts you in class. When you get a test, you got to go home and study. Football's the same way. We can't make them. We don't do it. But you have to put your own time in to be able to get to where you got to go. And then it's not just lifting weights and running. It's understanding the game because there's a combine part of it and there's a football part of it.
Okay. How is your team adjusting to that?
Good. They're getting there and understanding. It's all new schemes, all new things for a lot of them. So and it's drastically pretty different than the things they did in the past. Not that that was wrong. It's just we believe in different things. And so from that point, it's a learning curve.
How are your quarterbacks looking?
Okay, really good at times, and then we'll be confused or hesitant. Not confused, I guess hesitant at times from not seeing it enough. But that's expected. They're about where I expect them to be. Talented guys, and at times really make plays and they all can make all the throws. They can do things with their feet. Understand ball pretty good. Just kind of get our system.
If there's one word I've heard time and again from you during spring, it's physicality.
Yes.
Why is that so important?
You got pads and a helmet on for a reason, and you play in the SEC. You better be physical. You better be able to, just because you're physical doesn't mean you're not skilled. You can be a skilled guy, but at some point the physicality of the game has to come in, and you have to be very smart of it and learn how to create leverage, learn how to create angles, and put yourself in a position to be successful when the physicality comes.
And how do you develop that through the beginnings of spring practice, which is just the beginning of your tenure here?
Well, you do it by demanding it, and so every time you do, point it out. You get on the boards, you get in tackling drills. You don't bang them too much. You can't to a point, but the same, you got to be as physical as you can, and you got to make them have. We don't tackle except on scrimmage days to create because of the injuries that come with it. But the thud part of the practice and the physicality part on the upper body and that you have to do it every day, and condition the body to do it.
What will your fans see during the spring game?
A game. They're going to see a complete game. The teams will be divided up. It's not like one offense versus one defense or one offense, one defense. There'll be 1, 2, 3. Everybody will be intertwined. There'll be a draft. The seniors will draft. And, for instance, like if you played corner, they would draft you at corner with your backup at that position. Whoever they draft would get the other guy, then you would draft. So the teams will be evenly divided up. And as far as the players or who's the better GM, we'll find out who's the better GM.
Right. Why do you like to do it that way?
Because I like for the competition. I like to see the guys interact with each other and have to play with different guys. And I want to see what they think of each other. I love the draft to see what they're. I always said this when I went to the park to play ball, and the park I grew up at. If you lost, you were sitting down for 2. Everybody went to the park because nobody had PlayStation and Nintendo, and now so you can tell how far back I am. That stuff's even going. But you went to the park. You lost. You wasn't playing for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So when I picked a team. I know I had some buddies. I said, I like y'all, but I ain't playing with you. I want him, and him, because I want to keep playing. So, I like to see who guys want to play with. I just like the makeup of it. I think it creates an excitement for the game.
Another one of our Houston guys, Travion Williams at running back. What has he shown you?
Really coming on the last week and a half. Learning, catches the ball out of the backfield, running, understanding our schemes. The zone schemes, the gap schemes, the man schemes, and how to press blocks. And he's really done a great job in pass blocking right now, understanding our schemes. They're picking blitzers up, helping chip out when he goes. He's caught the ball in the scrimmages extremely well, run extremely well. I think he's had an outstanding spring. I'm very happy with the progress he's made.
Maybe a little on Jamon Osmond at wide receiver.
Really stood out in the last scrim, made some plays at the end in our 2-minute situation, our red zone situation, which was big. He's got a big body guy that is strong, and you got to use that, and he has to make contested catches and use that physicality. And also in the blocking game, he's learning how to block and how to help because you're talking about a guy that's 215 pounds. So, you can get on guys and get on outside backers and things in the blocking game to help our screen games, help our run game. And he's starting to really understand all the things. Because a receiver in our offense does a lot of stuff now.
You're roughly 4 months into this thing. You came here with very high expectations, very high hopes. What have you seen since we saw you introduced that tells you that all of these standards and championship visions that you have here can actually take place?
Well, I think the Texas A&M is committed to it. I think from the chancellor to the president to the AD, the 12th man, and everybody has been overwhelmingly outpouring of what can we do, and I tell them, just give me a minute, I'll think of something. let me figure it all out as we're going. But more important, the kids too. I think our players had a great attitude. We're working them hard, but they like it. I mean, it never. I challenge them. I say, all right, you want? Yes, sir. I mean, they want to be good, and you see the progress, and I think they see the progress in which they're making. Now, how quick that process comes together, we'll see, because we're just in the infant stages, and then we got to add 20-some more guys this summer, and then go to another camp. So hopefully things will go well. But I love the attitude and the demeanor of our players and our staff. Our staff's done a great job, and the support staff. I mean, everybody's trying to pull them in one direction.
There is a long way to go before you suit up for your first game here.
Thank
but
God.
Just in general terms, what brand of football will we see when you take the field for the first time?
Hopefully, a very intelligent, disciplined, physical football team that knows how to play. I mean, you got to be tough, but you got to be smart. Smart and tough wins, and then you got to have discipline on top of that. You got to know when to do things, when not to do things, and hopefully a situational smart football team, and understanding the times of the game, momentums of the game, down in distances. 2 minutes for the half, starting the second half, 2 minutes at the end of the game, need field goals tested, whatever we need to do. A team that's prepared in those situations and understand how to play the game, not just with just throwing and catching and but by the situation or the field position, whatever time on the clock, everything and apply it together and be a football team.
Where are you on the lines of scrimmage with the development that needs to take place to compete at the highest level?
We're getting there. Okay. We really are. We're creating a lot of run game stuff upside boards. Our guys, I think we got good size, physicality, developing the players behind them and developing backups and guys that we can keep a good rotation with, especially on the defensive line. You have to, offensive line, because injuries just occur. It's just the nature of the game up there. And developing the backups. But the offensive and defensive lines are starting to get to where they want to go.
How much do you enjoy this?
I love it.
Football.
I do. I mean, I love the practice. I love everything about it. I love the kids. I love challenging them. I love pushing them. I love them looking at me and saying, I can't do this. And then a week later, they're doing it and got a smile on their face. You know what I mean? I love everything about it. It's just the competition. And I think this is a game where you can't hide. I mean, I think football is a game where you have to be, like I said, you have to be very gifted, but you have to be tough. You have to be smart. You have to be selfless. And you have to learn to endure a lot of adversity and overcome it, which in turn gets you ready for life. So, that's why I like this game. I think there's a lot to it.
You kind of lead me to my last question. A lesson or two that you learned growing up in West Virginia that shapes how you approach your job, that shapes your football program?
Do your own job. Do your job. What you reap is what you sow. I mean, whatever you do, you reap what you sow. I mean, you got to do your job to get the results you want. There's no shortcut. The secret to it, there's no secret. And don't ask anybody else to do it. Put it on your own shoulders.
And you learned that growing up.
Huh. My old man made me learn it quick.
He did. Was he tough on you?
Very. But he loved me to death. But at the same time, wasn't no corners. This is what I told you to do. Get it done. He's telling me, get her done. I get back. I want it done. And do it right. Do it right the first time. And there'll be consequences.